Happy first day of Halloween, guys. It's October 1st. I'm Tori Lynn. What are you up to? Welcome to my channel. I was feeling ready for Halloween, so I did this pretty fall vampy look. Just keep watching and you guys will get to see how to do it. Hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before the video starts. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some under eye cream on. This is the Maraud Renewing Eye Cream that I got in my Fall FabFitFun subscription. I don't know that I've put that video up yet, but it will be going up soon. But I just wanted to come on and do a little try with you guys. So I actually have used this product already. I so far like it. I do know that a little goes a long way, so I literally just take about, I don't know, that much, not a very big drop, and that works all the way around my eyes. I just put a little under each eye, kind of swoosh it in, and then I just make little circular motions around the eye. I saw a long time ago, when rubbing your eyes, you always want to go from the inner corner up and out and around. You always want to bring the under eye in. Pull it the other way, you're going to cause your skin to stretch and cause more wrinkles, and ain't nobody want more wrinkles. So let's work that product into the under eye, and then I should pull my hair on my way. And then to continue with the face, I'm going to use my Clinique Dramatically Different Gel Moisturizer, and I'm going to mix that. So I take just a little drop. Again, same with this, a little goes a long way. Take a little blob. Then I'm going to be using the Cosmetics Pure C vitamin C powder, and I'm just going to put a few drops of their, I don't know what you call it, little puffs of that on, and just mix it together, and then work that around the face. And don't forget to work it down your neck. That's very, very important. Even your neck skin starts to sag and get wrinkly when you get old, so trying to prevent that. Okay, now that I've got my skin all refreshed and ready, I'm going to use the Benefit Professional Primer. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of that guy on. This guy I've had for a while, so it's kind of getting low, but it's just a little bit of that. I like to work that around the face. Alright, so the skin is fully prepped, set, and ready for makeup. So today's for foundation, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is in the shade Fair. I don't remember if I talked about this in a past video, but I went to Ulta and got skin matched. And she matched me with the shade Fair, which is the lightest shade that they have. So I am pasty, that's all that's saying. Pasty, pasty. So I like to take just a pump and a half of this product. You really don't need a lot. A little really, really, really goes a long way. And I like to start just by duping it around the face, little bop here and there, and then just working the product out onto the skin. I mean, you can see that was just one little, you know, splotch to the face with that much, and look how much coverage you get. You get so much coverage with this foundation. It's a really pretty foundation. If you're like me and you have a lot of redness, or you have a lot of hyperpigmentation or acne scarring, this foundation is a really good one. It gives you that super full coverage with very little product, and it does not make you look cakey. I have seen this product being used a lot, and I've been wanting to try it, and I just never like to order online because, you know, you never know if it's a product you never used before. You don't know what shade you are, and I don't want to be wearing the wrong shade. So I waited until I was up north in a town with Ulta and went and got matched. Okay, now that I've got my foundation on, I'm going to jump into my concealer, and I'm going to, of course, use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade, what is this? Porcelain Beige. I typically do the same thing with my concealer every day. I do a little triangle under the eye, on the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and a little on the chin. I'm just going to take that same beauty blender and I'm going to work with the side and just buff that out. I'm thinking about filming some Halloween makeup tutorials. Nothing crazy. I don't get into like the character makeup and stuff, but some easy makeup ideas with costumes that maybe you guys would be interested in. I have a couple costumes from the last couple years that I could do little like outfit and makeup styles with. Let me know what you guys think if you guys are interested. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye using, of course, my Coty translucent airspun powder. This is in the extra coverage. They have a couple different, they have just like translucent setting powder, and then they have like the extra coverage, and some are actually, I believe, skin colored. I don't know. I always get the extra coverage one just for a little extra. This is the translucent, but an extra coverage. I have been baking my smile lines lately just because I noticed that they've really been creasing, and been doing it since before I got this foundation. It's not just this foundation. But I noticed they crease a lot, so I decided to start baking them, and I do feel like it helps keep that crease out for longer portions of the day. Now that we're baked, let's do the eyebrows. I'm going to be using the Trestique mini brow pencil in the shade Americano. I got this also in my FabFitFun subscription box. I usually use my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade, but I have tried this on. I actually like it. It kind of gives my brows a little more of a natural look, not so thick and dark like they do with the pomade, although I still love my pomade. I kind of go back and forth between the two now. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and toss those on, and I will see you guys in just a minute. Alright, so I'm back. I got my brows on. I concealed them with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Fairest, and then I gelled them with the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. Okay, so now that I got my brows on, I'm gonna go ahead and set my lids. I'm just gonna buff out that crease with my finger and any concealer under the brow that may not have gotten buffed out right away. I'm gonna go ahead and buff that out, and then I'm just gonna use this angled or tapered face brush, and I'm gonna use the same setting powder that I used to set my under eye. I'm just gonna buff that on. Okay, now that that's set, we're gonna actually go ahead and do the shadow. I'm gonna use the, what is this? The Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadow palette. This is volume 2. I'm gonna use this palette. Probably gonna be using these 3 shades here on the bottom, and maybe dabbling into the black just slightly. And probably this pearl shade. So let's see, the first, I'm just gonna use my favorite blending brush or crease brush, and I'm gonna use the brown shade, the lightest brown shade called Marina right here. I'm just gonna dab into that, just a nice medium chocolatey brown, and I'm just gonna work that into that crease. I'm working that in the crease all the way into that inner corner, but I'm focusing it mainly on the outer 2/3 of the eye. If you get too heavy on the inner corner, it can make your eyes look too close together. So keep focusing it mainly on the outer corner, but you do want to work it all the way in. this is just our transition shade. So we're gonna be building over top of that. So another fluffy blending brush here. This one is a Morphe brush. I'm just gonna use that. And I'm gonna dip into the next darkest shade called Seaside, which is the next brown. I'm just gonna use that. This is a nice dark chocolatey brown. And I'm gonna focus that on the outer corner starting. I'll work it down towards the lash line a little bit and then work it in towards the inner corner. Now I'm not gonna drag this shade all the way down into the inner corner. I'm gonna stop at about that 2/3 mark. Now I'm gonna do the same to the other side. Okay, so now that I've got that on, I'm gonna go in with the next darkest shade, and as far as a brush goes, I'm gonna be using a really small tapered brush. This one, just really tiny, almost a pencil brush, but a little larger. And I'm gonna mix into the darkest brown in the shade and the black. I'm gonna be focusing mostly with the dark brown, which is called Siren. I'm gonna be mostly dipping into that with just a tad bit of the black shade called Riptide, which is over here. So I'm just gonna dab into that and then just do a few dabs into the black. And then I'm gonna shake off or tap off my brush because I don't want any fallout from this because the shade is so dark. It will be hard to get rid of if you get any fallout from it. So I'm gonna focus this right in the crease of the eye. And I'm gonna stay only on the outer half of the eye. And then I'm gonna drag it down onto the lash line ever so slightly. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same to the other eye, dipping into both those shades, focusing out on the outer edge of the actual crease itself. Now, if you have really hooded eyes like I do, you want to go, so my crease is right in here. I kind of work on the upper edge of the crease. If you don't have hooded eyes, then working right in your crease is fine, or even a little below the crease if you'd like to make your eyes seem a little smaller, if you have extremely large eyes. I have small and hooded eyes, so I work upwards of the crease. Okay, so now that we've got those shades on, I'm just gonna take my favorite blending brush. This one is from that same pack that I've been using. I believe that they are BS small brushes, but I'm not 100% sure. I think they were brushes I bought on Amazon when I first got into makeup years and years and years ago. And they actually weren't very expensive, and it was a full set of eye and face brushes. The brand was called BS Mall, which let me see if I could find one of the brushes. Yeah, this handle has some makeup on it, but it says BS Mall, and then you can't really read that, but it says face tapered. So it came in a set with several face brushes, several eye brushes, and they're actually really good quality. I haven't really had any fall apart, and I've been using them for quite a long time, for, well, several years. So I'm just going to take this angled fluffy brush, which I like to use as a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend all that really dark color into the other shades. Just gives everything a nice seamless look. Everything's nice and smooth and kind of smoky, if you will. When I am blending, I start out here on the outer corner where I focused most of that product. And I just work that out till I'm happy with it, and then I just slowly sweep my way in towards the inner corner, which brings that darker shade in without getting too heavy. But you want the heaviness to be on the outer corners and just a light feathering of it towards the inner corner. Once you're happy with the blending, we are going to move into the actual lid itself, I'm going to be using this white shimmery shade here called Pearl, and I'm just going to use a standard packing brush. I don't know what the name of this brush is or where I got it from. It's just a standard packing brush. I'm just going to use that shade Pearl, and I'm going to pack that right onto the lid. I'm going to focus it on the inner half of the eye and then kind of feather it out over top of that shadow that we brought down towards the lash line. Okay, now I want to make sure that that still has a nice seamless blend, even from the light shade to the darker shade. So I'm going to take that same brush I used to blend it all together, and I'm just going to do a few sweeps, dragging a little lower to blend out that white shade. See how it gives everything a nice, more blended look. It doesn't have any stark lines. Stark lines are something you don't usually want in makeup unless you're doing like a cut crease or something specific. This look is a smoky look. Smoky looks are soft. You don't want any harsh lines. So now that I've got the eyes majority of the shadow done, I'm going to jump back into the face. I like to do the eyeshadow first in case we get any fallout. Then we go back into the face and we sweep all that away and set it. If I wasn't worried about fallout, I would do my whole face first and then come back to the eyes. But I worry about fallout because you never know. You do the same thing 100 times, and that 101 time it's going to do something different. So I'm just going to dip this. Is a BMX 130 brush from R&L Moda Pro. And I'm just going to pat that translucent, which again I'm using the Coty translucent airspun powder. That is my go-to setting powder. I like to use that to do everything, basically, my whole face. I'm gonna use that just to go ahead and set my face, and I'm gonna brush away any excess of baking that may still be lingering. Get my hair out of the way here. Okay, so now that we've got our face set, we're gonna bronze up, and I'm actually feeling like doing a little bit of, a little bit of contouring, some chiseling with our bronzer because we're kind of going for a vampy look. I'm gonna use this palette called, let's see, it's an IBY Beauty Highlight and Contour Palette. I got this, I believe, in a BoxyCharm. And it's got the highlighter shades, or the pressed, you know, like the pressed banana powders. Got 3 highlight shades, not shimmer highlights, just setting highlights. And then it's got 3 contour shades. And I like to mix both Contour 3 and Contour 1 together. And I'm going to be using a NARS Eater brush. It's this really skinny, wide brush. It's not quite a fan brush. Anyways, I'm going to mix those 2 shades together. And I'm going to go right at the top of the ear, in that kind of right under that cheekbone there, and I'm just going to work that product in. Typically when I use this brush, I kind of work in oval motion, so I get that nice line down, and then you feather it up. I'm just going to work that product along those cheekbones. This is also a really great brush for contouring the nose because it's got that nice clean line. Makes it really easy to contour if you have issues with contouring. I would check this brush out. You could buy this brush online, either at the NARS website, or I purchased this one off of Amazon for way cheaper. It took a little longer to get here, but it was way cheaper. Again, this was the NARS Eater brush. And I am going to go ahead and bronze up now that we've got our cheeks just popping. So I'm going to use the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. This is my go-to bronzer. I've been using this one for several years, and I pretty much don't stop. I've tried other ones and I use them occasionally, but this is my go-to. I'm using a Aesthetica P12 brush to bronze up. I'm going to focus it on top of that contour just to, you know, make sure everything has a nice, again, seamless blend. That is my thing. I used to do this every day, like contour my face with a hard line, you know, the real contour, not just bronzing up, but then I kind of got lazy. But I decided that this was a look vampires are very looking, I feel like, so I wanted to kind of use that in the look. And then I'm going to bronze just a little along my hairline, or right at the top of my forehead. If you have a larger forehead, you're going to want to bronze up more than I do. I, like, you know, don't have a large forehead, so I barely contour the forehead at all. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose. I'm going to use my bronzer shade and my favorite fluffy brush from Anastasia. I'm just going to work that along the edge of the nose with a super soft, gentle hand. Okay, so now I've got my nose, what did I just do? Contour, that's what I did, contoured my nose. We're gonna do the blush, and I'm gonna use a Morphe blush palette. I believe this is a 3x3 palette. Yes, 3x3 palette. And I'm gonna be using the darkest red shade that they have in the palette. This is probably the shade I use the most out of here. I'm just going to take an angled cheek brush and I'm going to swizzle it through that shade. Now these, I feel like, as you can see, are really, really powdery blushes. So I really have to tap off the brush to make sure there's no excess powder, because you don't want a chunk, you know, like a chunk streak of powder, which has happened to me before. And I'm just going to go and blush her up. Sometimes I even swoosh the brush after I tap it off down the back of my hand, just to make sure there are no powdery chunks on the brush also. And then I'm going to do just a little on the nose. And set the blush aside because we done with it. Now highlight, of course, y'all know, be using my Mary Luminizer from the Balm. It is the bomb, let's be real. I'm just going to take a Crown Jumbo Kabuki fan brush and highlight those cheekbones. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take the same bronzer brush that I used a little bit ago with no excess bronzer, just what happened to be on it after I bronzed, and I'm just going to do a little bit over top of where my bronzer was already done, and I feel like it blends everything in nicely. So, you know, just me doing things that I like to do. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into the eyes because the face is pretty much done. Jump into the inner corner and brow highlight, and I'm going to be using the same shade I have used in all my videos because it's the same shadow I use every day. This is a unique single eyeshadow in the shade Gentle. Again, it's a really pretty, super soft pink champagne-y color. And I'm going to use that same brush that I used to pack the shadow onto my lids. Use that same little brush, and I'm just going to dip into that product and pop it into the inner corner. And then, of course, the brow bone. I'm just going to take a chunky brush from Morphe. It's a really dense brush, and I'm going to buff that highlight into the rest of my shadow. Just blends everything together. Okay, now we're going to do, I'm thinking this look needs eyeliner. Vampire and eyeliner seem like a great idea to me. Or vampy looks need eyeliner. So I'm gonna take the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. This is in the shade Trooper Black. And I'm going to draw myself a wing. Let me get this out of here real fast. And I'll get real close and personal here because I need to be at my mirror to make a wing. With my wing, I start at the inner corner. Real nice and thin. Actually, let me get a good mirror here so I can get up nice and close and personal. Okay, so for the wing, I start at the inner corner and keep it real close to the lash line. And then I follow like you're just gonna do a regular liner all the way across the eye. Now once I've got that basically done, I'm gonna add a wing, and to do my wing, I typically pick a point somewhere gauging towards the eyebrow, and I'm gonna start maybe like halfway. I usually start about the edge of my shadow, and I bring that line down and connect it into the top of the rest of my liner. Then I go back out and I connect to that corner. And I draw that down into the corner of the eye. And then go back and fill it in. Then I usually take a step back, check it out, see what it looks like. If I feel like the wing's too thin, then I'll go back through and I'll start at that corner and make that line thicker, which I might just do right now. I usually don't do a little hand mirror, so I feel like it got harder with the hand mirror. Okay, now got that wing on. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. I will do a better full tutorial of this if you guys want. Comment down below and let me know if you want to watch a full tutorial on how I do winged liner, and I will get that out there for you guys. This liner is a little dry, and it's usually easier with one that's a little juicier. I do like the felt tip though. I've tried the like brush tip ones and I can't seem to make those work for me. I got my wings on, where I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my face down with my Urban Decay Vitamin Infused Complexion B6 spray. I'm just gonna use this to set my face. Get my hair out of the way here. Let it dry for a second. Keeping your eyes closed because you just put that eyeliner on there. Now I'm gonna grab my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, and I'm just going to apply that to my lashes. I even just popped a little onto the lower lash line just to add a little bit something down there. Got our lashes on. If you guys are a falsie girl, which I am not, as I've talked about in my other videos, I'm not a falsie girl. I hate them, I struggle with them, I just don't do them anymore. Now that we're pretty much done with the face, the last thing we have to do is make it vampy by adding a pretty dark red lip. This is the Too Faced Melted Latex Lip in the shade Bite Me. It's a really pretty dark lip. I think I picked this up at Marshall's last fall, I believe. Oops, dropped my thingy. It's a liquid high shine lipstick, so it's latex because it has that shiny look to it. I do have another one that's matte from Stila, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I decided the shiny one was what I wanted to do today. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on. This is it. This is the look. This is the fall vampy look. Today is the first day of October. It is the first day of Halloween, so I'm excited. I just want to get this video out there for you guys. Please like it. Please comment. Please subscribe. I will see you guys next time.